My first question would concern consumers. How have you been in the industry for some time? You've seen how consumer expectations have been changing. Who are today's consumers of your business?
Well, there are like two questions in your question. So first, today we are trying to address all the customers that we believe we can deliver something which is produced with our assets and we believe we are good at. Now, if we talk about how consumers are changing or how the market is changing, we clearly see that there is a generation gap that has always been there, but now this generation gap is clearly visible between people that we used to call millennials or Y generation or Z generation, which is beyond 1994, and people like ourselves that were born earlier. And there are really important differences between those people. Not only age, of course, but the way they consume everything what is delivered to them is completely different. Just to give you the example, when we talk about millennials and plus Z generation, Z is even more than I will just quote now, millennials are spending 6 hours with their smartphone doing something, interacting with the smartphone every day. Average poll is watching TV 4 hours, 11 minutes. When we go back and see what baby boomers, so people that were born after the war, so they are less than 2 hours. And if we take a look how they consume things, you know, I used to quote my daughter, and she would be probably happy that I quote her again. She is 16, and she made a binge watching of Game of Thrones, all 8 seasons with her smartphone. And not because we don't have a TV at home. So the difference is really, really huge in the behavior.
And because of this, I understand you're going to have to change the way you operate, and you're going to disrupt your business. Is that true?
Yeah, that's an interesting point. You know, it's a kind of a paradox that, to some extent, telecom operators brought internet to societies, and somebody else built something on this layer that is delivering and even desired by many customers through the app in the digital way. But these are not operators, or there are very few operators that are paperless, you know, contracts-free, and you don't have to go and visit any shop. You basically do everything online. So, and we see it. We see it now that this is something that is coming, and if we don't do something about it, we will be basically delivering, you know, the pipe, the connectivity, which means that our remuneration will be just based on the simple services, while people, and we know it, we see it, are buying lots of services that are beyond telecommunication, but for which telecommunication is a must.
Okay. So what does this mean? What does this mean for your business? How are you going to adapt to this? How are you going to change the way you operate?
So it took us some time to launch Orange Flex, because this is what I wanted to quote. This is the first offer that is fully digital. If you are using the smartphone with embedded SIM, which means that you don't have to put a piece of plastic into your iPhone, for example, you can subscribe to the service, and you can use the service, and you can change the parameters of your service just with your finger and just with your smartphone. And in 2012, I think it was 2013, 2012, we started to make some experiments with no contracts, because we already have been observing people saying us, you know, I don't want to be committed to you for 2 years. Why should I be committed? I don't know what I'm going to do 2 years from now, or even a year from now. So we launched a brand that we called a B brand, which is called New Mobile. And this is the brand that is 600K customers now. In the postpaid model, I would say, they are not committed. I mean, they can quit anytime they want. They cannot subscribe digitally, but they can quit anytime they want. And what we observed, that if you have a simple service, if you have a honest sales speech, people are buying that, and they are not resigning. The offer must be good, of course, and they are not resigning. And the churn rate sometimes is even better than with postpaid services.
Okay.
So for us, it was a great discovery, but we said, okay, let's do something that those people are fully subscribing digitally, and they see whatever they do. They are buying additional services digitally, and this is how we created Orange Flex. It took us 2 years. It took us a lot of lot of efforts and a lot of discussions with customers. We took 4,000 customers in different focus rooms in different cities of Poland in order to see if there are some geographical differences. And we started to draw with a blank piece of paper what is the customer journey they would like to see? What is the experience in each step that they would like to see? What is the language we should use that they feel okay with that? And this is how we created this service. And this is a fully digital service that is available here in the market. We are the only operator as Orange with embedded SIM in both watches and smartphones. And we are the only one that you can subscribe to the service really in 3 minutes without going out of home.
Was it scary, the process? I mean, this, as I said, I believe this is a pretty big disruption of the business. I mean, moving from a legacy model to a model where you can just switch on and switch off your operator that you're using, I think would be scary for most people in a business as big as Orange. Everything can change in a moment.
Well, this is actually, because maybe I'll come to the roots. We asked those people, those 4,000 people, roughly in different groups in 2 years, so they will not all in a room like this one. And we said, just imagine that there is the operator of not a dream, of best choice. What would it be like? And just, they said no commitment, variety of choices, so no one choice.
Scary.
Why?
No commitment, variety of choices.
No, it's not scary. Why is it scary?
Well, because you're used to having customers who subscribe to your services for 2 years, and now suddenly you say, okay, listen, you can just switch this on and off whenever you like.
Yes, true. But there were 3 differences. First, this is the model of the past. So there were no other models like this one. And everybody was pretty much used to that model. And everybody still is treating this model as a fair one if you have a subsidy to your handset, for example. Or if you get a discount because you are committed. So some people are okay to commit because of the discount. But that was the model that was existing. And the millennials generation, those guys were in the plans of their parents, or they were babies. And suddenly they entered the market with all services like Netflix, like Google, like Apple, like Facebook, and you can name them. And they said, what the heck? Why can I not subscribe to that service the same way I'm subscribing to HBO Go or to Netflix? Hey, what's wrong with you? And in the beginning, it's always like this, that you have a very few people telling you that. So then you say, yes, this is the fantasy of kids, of young people. But then you see those kids going for the first job, they commit to, they subscribe to some services, they own the budget. And before they were influencing people that actually own the budget. And you start thinking like, okay, am I doing right with the current model? Or should I change something? Because those guys, by the power of nature, will become the scale. And we said like, okay, do we believe that people will not go for the Netflix model because we don't want it? Or for Orange Flex model because we don't want it? No. We came to the conclusion, no, they would go for this model. Why? Because this is simple, this is understandable, this is easy to buy, easy to quit, easy to deal with. So either we are in this train or we are waiting and maybe somebody else will take us, maybe not. So we decided basically to go forward.
Do you think the market will follow? Because you're the first company in Poland which did this, and I understand you're the first company in the Orange Group. We talked about this off stage.
Yes. Poland is the first country in the Orange Group that has launched that service. So all the other countries are watching us. And this is because it takes time and determination of different people, and you need also a scale and a certain level of development. So in the telecom market today, we are at the moment where everybody is looking for something new in order to rebuild the top line. And services like this one are very much helping in your profitability, at least, because you don't have all the costs that are associated with providing the service the old way.
So do you think the market will follow? Do you think T-Mobile, Play?
No, actually, to be honest, Play has a service which is quite similar, with less functionalities and with no eSIM. which means that this is not fully digital. So where we say it's different, we say it's fully digital. And it's not one tariff plan. It's a variety of choices. This is also one of the feedbacks we got from the customers, because there are two marketing schools. The one is saying, no, people don't know what they want, just show them, and then they will go for it. Or people need to have a choice, and but at the end of the day, they will buy what you want if you use the decoy price smartly. But at the end of the day, people say, you know what, maybe we are not living every day with the analysis of the subscription plans of the telco operator. But you know what? We want to have a choice. So we don't want to have one tariff. We want to have few tariffs, and we'll pick up the one that we want based on our own assumptions, usage, or mood.
Okay, so looking into the future, how do you think the industry will change following this change? Because I have to say, I believe this is a disruption, and I believe it's interesting that a very big, a very traditional company decides to disrupt itself without waiting for somebody else to disrupt it. My question would be, how will this impact the industry as such? Do you think this will cause a bigger change, and how will this change also consumer behavior?
I believe that this is where the industry will go. I'm 120% sure. Again, why not to use the service which is user-friendly, which is understandable, which is convenient? Why not? People, human beings more broadly, we are always trying to get the best return from the lowest investment. I'm not talking about scales, but the point is, if I can get what I want without too much effort, I can spend some time for other things. So this is where it will go first. Second, I believe that if there is already somebody doing that, you cannot basically, you can for some time sit and wait, but what if you were wrong with such a decision? And it will be a disruption. So I believe that this is something that others will follow. And last not least, the embedded SIM. This is something, that will be, especially we talk a lot about 5G, and 5G is not about putting the piece of plastic with a piece of metal plate on it into the machine. It's about the chip that is connectable. And we will have IoT things which are connectable. And we will have more and more smartphones that will be eSIM embedded. Can we, as Orange or as any other operator, can we stop Apple? Can we stop Samsung? Can we stop Huawei? Can we stop them from doing that stuff? No, we will not stop them. What can we do? We can try to take this innovation and use it the best for the satisfaction of the customer and the interest of the company.
Okay, thank you. One last question, and we don't have much time, so I would ask for a very short answer. You've been on the market with Orange Flex for 2 weeks. Do you have any market readings? How many people have subscribed? How many people have changed operators? Do you know anything about the reaction to the offer?
No, we don't share this data, but we are very much surprised.
But are you happy?
We are very much surprised about what is the digital world, because we are now advertising only in digital. We'll come to the legacy ATL a bit later. I'm amazed personally how many people, based on these digital campaigns, downloaded the app and how many things they do, and we know where they come from. So this is a brand new journey.
You won't tell me how many people. You won't tell me how many people download? No. Okay. Well, thank you for that.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys. Appreciate your time.
Thank you.
Let's give them a hand.